welcome back. So I am so excited to make this video today for a couple of reasons. Now let's talk about reason number one, and that is, as you can see from the title, this is my Booktube anniversary, my first year of being on Booktube. And I figured I would mark the occasion by doing a Q&A. So if you follow me on Instagram, you likely would have seen that I posted in my stories a couple of days ago, basically just a casting of questions for you guys to submit to me. And so luckily you guys came through. I gotta be totally honest, I was afraid that I was going to put the Q&A out there and nobody would answer it, but that wasn't the case. Lots of questions, and so I figured I would mark the occasion of this Booktube anniversary by answering your questions, doing a little bit of a Q&A, and also kind of reflecting on this past year. So before I get into the questions, let's just kind of talk about really quickly my thoughts and my emotions about being on Booktube for a whole year. Now, I will say it's a little bit tainted because we are in the midst of a pandemic, and so that's kind of had an effect, I guess, on my channel over the last couple of months, as with, you know, just life in general. But overall, I've really enjoyed being on Booktube. I'm so glad that I started my channel. Totally thanks to my husband, because we came back from vacation overseas, and during that time he was filming some travel vlogs that I was kind of a part of, not like super involved, but in it enough. And when we returned back, he saw that I would watch Booktube videos, and obviously I am a reader, duh. And he put the suggestion out there like, hey, why don't you start your own channel? And I gotta be honest, I never thought about it. It was just one of those things that, because I am inherently shy and introverted, the idea of me putting myself out on the internet literally like made my heart just like beat rapidly and like sweats break out and everything. But I took the leap, and I'm so glad that I did. I have met so many amazing people on Booktube, people that I consider my friends, which again is totally saying a lot, because in real life I am very introverted. I have a small circle of people, and the fact that I am able to forge relationships with people who have my same bookish interest, it just means so much to me. And so in honor of this video, I was looking back on my older videos, and first of all, cringe, but at the same time it allowed me to realize how much I have grown over the past year. Now granted, there are still times where I sit in front of the camera and I like blank out, don't know what to say. It's almost as if the lens itself has made me mute, but it's totally different than when I first started, because I'm a lot more comfortable rambling, obviously. And I've learned to, I guess, kind of come into my own as a reader, and I guess just as a booktuber also in general, because when I first started out, I will be honest, I'm sure most people who have a channel do, I was kind of trying to figure out my style and who I was, and that started off with me trying to emulate a lot of the channels that I love. And while I think that is a great way to kind of fall into your own, I quickly realized that that wasn't going to work for me, because, you know, some of the channels that I like do very analytical reviews that I appreciate, and that's just not me. And then others do like very elaborate setups with secret TBRs, and you know, while, you know, maybe in the future I will do kind of like a theme TBR, that's not my bread and butter. So that's not something that I do on a regular basis. What I do, let's pause for like the laughter of juveniles. What I do is gush about the books that I love, and I want to emphasize that, like, books that I love, not books that everybody else is reading, or not books that I feel like I should be reading, but books that I love. So I'm really glad that I have kind of learned to stick with what I love, while at the same time maybe trying books out of my comfort zone, but not out of obligation, just more so curiosity, which I think plays a huge role. So feel like I've rambled enough. That's my alarm telling me to stop rambling and basically get into these questions. So, like I said, you guys have come through with the questions. If you are watching this and you submitted a question, thank you so much, because I was really afraid I was just going to have to ramble on my own without any questions, which I guess is fine, but having questions makes it so much more fun. So I did not put these in any order. I am literally just going to go down the list, and other than just copying them over from Instagram, I haven't even looked at them. So you are getting my 100% off the cuff answers. And for the sake of making sure this video isn't too long, I am going to kind of do them rapid fire, whatever. So if you, I guess, have any follow-up questions for me, please leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them there. But regardless, in the meantime, let's dive into the ones that I have. Okay, question number 1, favorite reading snack. Oh gosh, already I'm like blanking out. Favorite reading snack, I would say, would have to be tea. I don't know if some kind of beverage counts as a snack, but if we're talking edibles, then I'm gonna have to go with cherries. I love cherries and I can eat them one-handed. Next question, how did you and hubby meet? Okay, so my husband and I were basically friends to lovers, which is totally ironic because that's actually my least favorite romance trope, but it's true. We were essentially childhood friends and ended up becoming more than friends when we were both in college, and we have been together ever since. So it's been about 13 years, I would say, losing track, but somewhere along that. We've been together for a long time. My favorite indie bookstore. Okay, that one is easy. I would have to say Book Nook. I live in Atlanta, and there is a used bookstore called Book Nook, which is maybe about 20 minutes from where I live, and I actually filmed a Come Romance Book Shopping with Me at that location, which is still one of my favorite videos to date. I'm gonna link it now, so if you've never seen it, you're free to check it out. But I'm actually thinking about doing another Come Book Shopping with Me because I absolutely love that store. Next one, do you listen to cozy mystery audiobooks? Yes, I really do, though it's interesting because I like to read a lot of my cozies because I find myself more absorbed in the stories. However, there are a lot of cozies that I listen to on audiobook, and my number one cozy that I listen to basically on like audiobook only, or at least 95%, is Donna Andrews' Meg Langslow series. If you've been around my channel for a while, you'll know that I gush about it all the time, and I love that series as an audiobook because the narrator is like top notch. Okay, next question. Choose only one genre to read forever. What is it and why? Oh man, you guys, with these hard-hitting questions. So I'm gonna have to kind of like not cheat, but like Captain Kirk it a little and say mystery, because mystery I feel has a lot of subgenre components, and so if I do mystery, then that also falls underneath it. Cozy mystery, thriller, crime fiction mystery. I don't know, am I pushing my boundaries here? But if that's the case, then yeah, mystery. Next, cozy mystery characters you'd want to be friends with. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to say Brooklyn Rainwright, is that her last name? From Kate Carlisle's Bibliophile mystery series, for a couple of reasons. One, homegirl loves her books, as do I. She's a book restorer, and I think that's super cool. But more so beyond that, I love her family background because she actually grew up in a commune, and she goes to visit her parents in their quirky little community often, and I think it would just be so much fun to tag along with her, visit that cool kind of hippie town, and just hang out with her and her family, basically. Okay, next one, go to coffee order. So, one answer. If you would have asked me this question a year ago, it would have been a latte. That is my kind of standard. Every single coffee shop that I go to, I have to taste their latte to see how it stacks up. However, as of late, or for the past year, it's been an Americano. I absolutely love it, the simplicity of it. It's hard to mess it up. And I feel like if you mess up an Americano, then your coffee shop really isn't worth it. So that's my go-to. Favorite plants. Oh man. Okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, there's no doubt that I love plants and I have a plethora of them. If we're talking favorite type of plant, then I'm gonna have to say a snake plant, simply because they are super resilient. I've got a couple of them inside of my house. They are low light, low maintenance, and that works out perfectly when you can't like shove them in the middle of the room where the most light hits. I like to put plants in the corners, and he lives there and he's very happy about it. But if we're talking about like the favorite type of plants that I own currently in my house or on my property, I've got a banana plant on my back patio, which is recently new. My husband actually bought it during quarantine, and it's so big and lively, and it just makes me so happy. So follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, because chances are I will be posting even more stories about it, because I like taking pictures of plants. Okay, next question. Favorite shops for clothes. Oh man, I am the wrong person to ask, because as much as I like to think in my head that I'm a fashionista, the actual act of buying clothes is exhausting to me. I'm like doing all womankind like such shame right now. But I would have to say Torrid. I really like their clothes. Let's see. Chic Soul, I think, is another one. And then lastly, Amazon, which I know is like, oh, Amazon. But here's my rationale. One, Prime shipping. I have like zero patience, and so 2-day is perfect for me. And then also I find that they sell a lot of clothes through like third party, and so I'm able to get brand names through them without actually having to shop on that brand name's website. So that's my answers for whatever that means. If you could have if you can have dinner with one author, who would it be and what would you guys talk about? That's a good question. So many, but the answer that I'm going to give now that's like floating on the top of my head is with Harper Kincaid, which I actually did an interview with her a couple of months ago. She's a cozy mystery author, and I absolutely adore Harper. We hit it off immediately the first time we talked in one of my other live shows, and since then we have become friends in real life. Well, I haven't actually seen her in person, but like we text each other and things like that, and I think we just have such good chemistry as friends, and I love meeting people where it feels as if you've known them for so long and you can kind of just start off talking about anything under the sun rather than small talk. And so on top of the fact she's like hilarious to boot. So I feel like if we went out for dinner and like had drinks and stuff, it would be a riot, and the time would pass by and we probably close down the restaurant from talking the whole night. Okay, next question. How did you get into the cozy mystery / romance genre? Okay, so that's actually two different questions. How did I get into the cozy mystery genre, and how did I get into the romance genre? So I got into the cozy mystery genre, oh my goodness, probably through Murder, She Wrote. Is that true? It's been so long. I want to say that's probably why. And believe it or not, I probably mentioned this in my Murder, She Wrote video, but I came across those books when I was actually in a totally different country. I was in Guatemala, and I went into a used bookstore, and they happened to have books in English. They also happened to be Murder, She Wrote books. Read them, loved them, and when I went back home and I was trying to look for more Murder, She Wrote books, they were in the same section next to other cozy mysteries, and that kind of snowballed, and the rest is history, so to speak. Now, as for the romance genre, I can remember this extremely vividly because I was young. I was probably like a young teen, and I was with my grandmother. We were yard sailing, aka shopping at yard sales, and I came across a box of romance novels, and I bought a couple of them, at least one, and that one is Rachel Gibson. I still remember the author. I bought that book. It was only like $1, and I loved it so much. From there, the rest is history, because I read nearly everything Rachel Gibson wrote. Then I went on to like Carly Phillips, and I went on to Susan Elizabeth Phillips, and I love them so much. So just talking about it now, it fills me with such nostalgia. But anyway, I've loved both of those genres for quite a while. Okay, next question. What's your favorite type of video to film? To film, I would probably say my Cozy Up To series. There's something about talking about cozies that are within a certain theme that I think is really fun, and kind of seeing how there are books that fall within that theme, or seeing how many books there are with that theme is really fun, because when I'm talking about them, even though they all have that same theme in common, they're different because of like the characters and the author's writing and the setting. And yeah, I love doing those, and I love doing the research behind those as well. Next question. I need to stop saying next question and just read the next question, by the way. What's the most rewarding part about being a booktuber? I would say talking with you guys. I feel like I am totally blowing smoke right now and gassing y'all up, but honestly, that's the best part, because while I never started off making a booktube channel or doing videos for any kind of like praise or follow, it still really makes me happy when people leave comments that are also like, oh, me too, I love this book, or thanks for suggesting this book, because it lets me know that I'm not alone. You know, like reading is a very singular hobby that you do by yourself, and so whenever you have the opportunity to share it with someone, even by accident or on purpose, it really makes me excited, because yeah, I just love talking about books. And if I come across somebody who likes the same books as I do, or we have the same taste, it's almost like an instant bond, and it really makes me excited. So that's probably my favorite part. Favorite reading atmosphere. Okay, so favorite reading atmosphere, I would have to say a fall morning where it's raining a little bit and cloudy and there's a slight chill in the air. That is very specific, but that's like my absolute favorite. I would take that over reading like at the beach or in a bookstore. That's my absolute favorite. And the fact that we're coming into fall makes me so excited, because I know that there is going to be multiple opportunities for me to actually get that reading atmosphere. Is there a cozy you wish went into a romantic direction? Okay, so this is a good question. I actually did a video a few weeks ago about cozies that have romantic elements in them, and they all work in that sense. But as far as cozies that I wish had a romance element, I don't think there is one. Let me think. Okay, so I don't know if this is like answering the question exactly, but this is just what came to mind. So Stephanie Plum, Janet Ivanovich's Stephanie Plum series, to me is technically a cozy mystery, because she is an amateur sleuth, even though she is a bounty hunter. She gets into all kind of hijinks. Anyway, there are like 20 plus books in the series now. I stopped reading at book 15, and while I love the writing, one of the things that was starting to get a little redundant and a little annoying is that there was a will they won't they between the main character Stephanie Plum and two of the heroes or male characters in the book. And that was super frustrating, because after a while, like, it's one thing to have a couple of books where it's like a triangle of sorts where she's trying to figure out her feelings for whoever, but we're 20 something plus books in and you still can't decide between Joe and Ranger. That's frustrating. So I guess my answer would be I would want that series to have her figure out who to be with, if only to put those poor men out of their misery. I don't know if that's answering the question. Okay. Do you have any romance recs with good plus size rep? Oh, that's a good question, because, oh, where's the book? Hold on a second. There's a book that is coming out that I want to grab for you. Okay, am I in frame? Yes. Okay. So, spoiler alert is coming out in October, so you don't have to wait long. But to me, this seems like almost like Fangirl, but for adults with a romance element in them. And that is to say, it is about a male celebrity who writes fanfic on the sly, and then this woman who is a fan of the fanfic, so to speak. The two of them meet, and obviously you can even tell by the cover that Homegirl's got some luscious curves going on, but I'm super excited about this. You've got the plus size rep, plus size rep. But also at the same time, like, I'm such a nerd, so reading about fanfic or people doing something along those lines really makes me excited. And so I'm gonna go ahead and recommend this one. Obviously there's like a plethora of books out there, but this one is at the forefront, especially because it's coming out soon. So grab your copy or put it on your TBR because it seems really interesting. Okay, plug done. Let's move on to the next one. Who's your favorite romance author? That's definitely not fair because I have more than one. So I'm just going to name four. Okay. Number one, if we do have to like say all time, then it's definitely Jill Shalvis, without a doubt. I even made a video about Jill Shalvis and her books and where to start with her books and everything like that. She does romantic comedy and top-notch banter, top-notch hilarity. I love it so much. Her Heartbreaker Bay series is probably my favorite romance series ever, hands down. So I would say she's my favorite. However, because I cannot choose just one, coming up closely under in like second slash third slash fourth place, I'm gonna also have to say Whitney G, who I just discovered this year. She is an indie author, as is R.S. Gray, who is another indie author. I love both of them. R.S. Gray also does romantic comedy very well. And then as for Whitney G, she kind of does a mix of stuff, but I wouldn't necessarily call her romantic comedy. It's more so just contemporary romance and high heat level as well. So I've read a lot of her novellas, which are series that I really enjoy because Homegirl is great at telling stories in a novella format, and that is saying a lot because you don't have a lot of pages to get across character development, but she seems to do it well and do it consistently. So those are my answers. Jill Shalvis is number one though. Okay, let's see. Top 3 cozy mysteries on your fall TBR. Okay, I actually did a video about this, though it wasn't specific to cozy mysteries. It was just books on my TBR. So I'm gonna have to say, I thought I had the books with me, but I don't. Let me go ahead and I have a list. Hold on. Okay, literally a sticky note, guys. So Foul Play at the Fair, which is a Celebration Bay cozy mystery series about an event planner helping her town get ready for its autumn harvest festival. Then we have A Batter of Life and Death, which is the second book in the Bake Shop mystery, where we have our main character who will go on to compete on like a baking show to hopefully win money for her bake shop. And then lastly, and I don't have it with me, but it is a Murder, She Wrote book. Let's see if I can find the name of it. I don't remember what it is, but I'm going to go ahead and put the name of the book down here right now, but it's Murder, She Wrote. That's really all you need to know. Okay, we're almost done, people. It's a lot of questions, I told you, so you really came through and I really want to answer them all. What would your takeout order be? So I guess that means like, if I were like ordering food from Uber Eats, which I do all the time, I would say there is this place that I don't remember the name of, but they have pho, which I absolutely love. So my takeout order would be a large bowl of the pho, and it's either chicken, depending on if it's like rainy, because I want chicken with extra basil, or some kind of like beef. I'm so hungry right now. Sorry, can you see my mouth watering? Or some kind of beef. But either way, giant noodle soup dish, because I love it so much, and it has to have extra basil, and I have to have a side of sriracha to go with it. Okay, favorite genre. So if it's not already obvious from my channel, I read across genres, but my favorites are romance and mystery slash thriller. Obviously within mystery, cozy mysteries are part of that, so those are definitely my top 2 genres that I flock to on a regular basis. What is the steamiest romance you've read? That's a great question. So I guess if we have to talk recently, then I'm gonna go with Katie Roberts' Your Dad Will Do. It is pure filth and it's amazing. Then I'm also gonna have to go with, what's her name? Hold on, I have to look it up now because I have come across her books, and when I read the first one, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I'm like, whoa, what is this? But I'm trash because I kept reading all of the books that she has written. Okay, so the name of the author is Jessica Kane. There it is. I don't know how I could have forgotten. Jessica Kane is also filth. And then also, this is from like a while back. I haven't read her stuff in a while. Jane Rylon, she does BDSM stories, but she does them well, though they are explicit. And then I'm also going to have to go with Delilah Devlin. Not remembering any of the name of her books off the top of my head, but those two authors are standout for me. So definitely check them out if you like your romance cranked all the way up to like XXX. Okay, do you have a go-to coffee order or do you experiment? So I have a go-to coffee order. Obviously it's an Americano, but I do this thing every single time where I try something new thinking that I need to come out of my shell, and I kid you not, 8 out of 10 times I don't like it. So I finally have just decided that I like what I like, and it doesn't matter how fancy the other drink looks with the whipped cream and the syrup and the blah blah blah. I'm a simple girl. I just want coffee and milk, or just water in the case of an Americano. So I have a go-to coffee order, and I try not to experiment anymore. I'm real exciting, people. Okay, last 2 questions. What's your sign and how old are you? So I'm 33 and I'm a Capricorn. Hi, I felt like I'm doing a dating interview with those 2 questions. But those are your answers. As far as like my sign, while I'm not like well versed into what the different signs mean, based on what I have read about Capricorns, I'm totally a Capricorn, for whatever that means. I don't know, but there you have it. So, okay, those are my questions. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about me and what I like / don't like when it comes to like books and whatnot. As I mentioned, if you do have any more additional questions for me, please feel free to drop them in the comments. But I really just want to thank you guys for being here, for watching this video. If you're subscribed, if you're not subscribed, if you've been here for a while, if you're new, it doesn't matter. I really appreciate you. And it's been a hell of a journey over the last year with my booktube, and I'm really excited to see where the next year will take me, because truthfully, if you would have asked me when I first started where I thought the year would take me, I could not have imagined this. Like, hello, coronavirus, what the hell? But even beyond that, just like the growth of my channel has been just so heartwarming and so endearing. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this, for hanging with me, talking books, leaving comments, all of that good stuff. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Here's to the next year, right? So in the meantime, please like and subscribe if you like this video. Not if you want to see more like it, because I'm not like doing Q&As all the time. But if you like bookish content and you kind of have the same taste as I do, then subscribe. But yeah, in the meantime, happy reading, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!